Hi, thank you for joining us for part two. Sue London and I are going to continue our conversation on the benefits our pets bring to us in our healing. Please come and join us. Hit like and subscribe if you love it.
Like we're lucky to be alive. So
Yeah.
celebrate it. And if you don't want to turn another year, what's your option? Right? Like, this is where you're going to end up. But so anyways, from this pattern of having to get healthy and trying new things to get away from the disease, we still continue this. And our grandchildren are doing this. And they'll say, "Oh, grandma, this is what I made today, and this is what I learned to do." And this is one thing I'm really proud that my challenge has passed on such incredible things for us to do as our families,
Yes.
So that's what I recommend everybody. Shift your mindset away from that negativity and what can you learn, And so
That's a huge message, Sue. Huge.
Yeah.
It really is. It's our perception, our perspective. It's how, and we're all thought, just for myself going through, just lots of traumas and just, here I am again, like just the message, the dialogue that goes on.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you what happened. So the beginning of COVID, when we were all locked in our houses and stuff like that, right?
6 months.
What's that?
How long was that? It was a long time.
Oh my gosh, right? So anyways, Molly, this dog that I just showed you her picture, she said to me, I had to get pencil crayons and like art paper. Now in grade 6, you know how we're talking about people that we believe, right? So in grade 6, I had an art teacher that she said, I couldn't draw. Don't waste your time, bring a book to class. So at the age of 10, all the way, up to 58 years old, my children didn't even see me draw a stick person because this teacher had traumatized me so much that I was no good at drawing. So here I am, the beginning of COVID, in a lockdown. My dog on the other side is telling me I need to get drawing pencils and paper. And I thought, okay, talk about trust, like what the heck is this about? And then so I, ordered online the pickup from Michael's, our favorite craft store, Canada, right? And so I went and picked it up, and my husband said, "You don't draw. What's this about?" And I said, "I don't know. Molly told me to get paper and pencils, right?" So I sat down and I was holding her picture, and then all of a sudden, like I'm holding it, and her energy started coming through me, and I started drawing her. And so now my pictures, we're sitting here now, but if you go to my website, asksuelondon.ca, you can see under spiritual pet portraits, the pictures of some of the pets I've drawn. And it blows me out of the water that how like the stories behind what have happened from these, that I can't draw. It's the animal's energy drawing through me. I can't go out and draw a landscape or even a house, but it's the pet's energy comes through me, and it just comes through whatever. And then they give me about 3 to 5 pages of messages that go with their story. So this one owner came to me and really loves her dog. And I drew the dog's picture, and I thought, trying to be perfect, right? I got to the shoulder part and I thought it didn't look right. And I kept erasing it and doing it again. And so I thought, no, this is not turning out. I need to send it as it is. Send it to the owner. She called me the minute she got it. And she said, "How did you know about Bentley's shoulder?" That spot, the dog had cancer.
Wow.
And so that's what was happening in the drawing.
Little blockage there.
What's that?
There was a blockage.
Right. So I did Reiki on him and stuff like that. And this dog, the vet had said, was supposed to be gone 3 years ago. And she was so stressed over losing her pet, she wasn't focusing on the moment. And so now she
She was
shifted.
focusing on losing.
Yes, yes.
So
And
that,
so now this dog is doing fantastic. But there's how I, trusted, didn't doubt it, didn't question it, did it. And, learning something new from what, my pattern, that's now what I'm doing for people as well in my spare time.
yeah, right. But that creativity as well is flowing through. I also am a stick man drawer. I draw very well.
It's crazy.
Circles and sticks.
Well, you should try drawing because I'd be curious.
I have. I also had a download, and
Okay.
I've been at the art store and paint easels and all kinds of stuff. And I have also been having that similar experience. So I'm listening to you going, wow, isn't that
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and not, I would not ever have spent a dime on any of that stuff.
No, and I think this is what is needed in the world now, a lot more creativity, because again, like it's helping us who are empathic or having all these abilities. Because like my daughter said, Mom, I want you to get knitting again. I haven't been knitting for 30 years. And I used to sew their clothes, knit, make quilts, all this kind of stuff. But you get doing other things. And she said, no, I want, the baby to have like stuff from grandma. And I thought, you know what, I'm not making it all about work. And so that's scheduled as part of my day with exercise, that I'm making these specific baby blankets she wants. And then what I'm doing for each of the grandchildren is knitting them all, I don't know what you call it. It's like a blanket for them to always have, like a,
Yeah. Like their comfort blanket,
like it's grandma's gift to you when I'm gone, kind of thing, right?
and that energy is in there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Like your energy is, and it's huge.
right. So
Beautiful.
yeah, so I think that, like, I'm talking to more and more people that used to do crafts, whether anything creative, and it's helping them to cope or to clear or to be grounded or focused, or relaxed. And I think that's what, again, we all need. And there's like so many things that we can all do. It's not just, drawing or painting. There's so many things you can do. Right.
You just, I think the magic is the fact of we were all so busy. None of us had a minute for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I believe that it's what you just said. It's the universe helping us ground and to slow down and to appreciate and to get back to what matters.
Right. Yeah. Like, and with us,
I never thought about that, but
right?
that's exactly what that is. That's huge.
I mean, like for us with Canadians, like we stop and we talk to people. Yes. And I talk to a lot of people in other parts of the world, and they're like, what? You stop and talk to each other? I was like, yeah, what do you need? Like, I've seen people are walking and their pet needs a drink, and I carry an extra bottle of water with me to give their dog water.
Of course you do.
We do, as Canadians, do this,
Love
right?
that.
And I think that's the other parts of the world need to look at this, that, that this would be good for everyone to do, is stop and just say hi or have a nice day, and shift this negative energy and all this focus around, I don't like what she said or he said or whatever.
Judgment,
right?
Judgment.
Yeah.
And I believe what happens is that it really does freeze the person that you're judging, because they're feeling that energetically.
Oh yeah.
But more so, the person that is doing it is the one who has the biggest damage.
Oh yeah.
They're the one conjuring it. They're the one feeling it, thinking it, and putting it out there. Yeah. And then we get what we think about all day long. We become what we think about. So if you're sitting there judging and jealous and putting down whomever because you're feeling threatened or whatever the situation is that you're unaware of,
right,
it's coming right back at you.
Absolutely. And people don't understand that. And then they're like, well, I don't know why this is happening in my life. Well, you need to focus on the simple things in life. And even if that's holding the door for a stranger, start there, and get back to how it was meant to be many, many years ago, you know?
Well, it's all about this, and it's all just about love, right? We're all here just to
Exactly.
learn to love ourselves, and to be able to love ourselves more. The biggest thing is to share love or hold space of love for somebody else. And
Yes,
then that helps your heart open and grow so you can feel more love. And it's this momentum that happens, like setting the intention for your day. It's
exactly.
these powerful, powerful little things that we can do if we're aware.
Right. Well, and you know, it's interesting you said about that, because the biggest thing that I say to pet owners, like people will come to me and they will say, my dog's crazy, or it's doing this or whatever. And I will say to every one of them, all your pet wants is love and patience. And, you know, when you give love, that love can be so healing in so many situations. And that's, you nailed it. Like that's exactly what our world needs, is much, much, much more love.
And
Right?
it's free.
Exactly. It doesn't
Free.
cost any money, guys.
And it's healing, and it's gets you to a higher vibration where you get to unravel the icky stuff that we're holding
Right.
in our bodies that are making us sick. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Well,
So the pet psychic stuff, I know you're going to finish this up, but I really want to hear a little bit more about how you go about and do all of that, because I bet there's a lot of people interested in
so basically what happens, a person will send me a picture of their pet, and then the pet will talk to me and tell me what the owner needs to hear. Or, you know, sometimes it's like my owner's not taking me out enough and I need to kind of kick that but the owner's butt, but in a loving way. And
Is that a
say,
message for me?
uh, okay, we're on the air still, right? um, okay, I'm not going to comment on that for your respect.
My poor dog never gets walked. Jeez.
But like, so the pet will tell me stuff, right? And they'll tell me if their energy is needing cleared, and you know how it feels, and you know if there's something not in their life. I will, when I see the pictures, why I ask for a picture is because, you know, an owner can have a pet with them now. They can have all their pets that are on the other side. So I want to make sure we're talking about the right pet that they want to know about. That's why I always ask for the picture. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I can feel what's going on in that pet physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And it tells me what's what. I'm trying to think of some of the things that were said. I've had pets that tell me, you know, that, you know, our life is crazy, and this, you know, my owner needs your help, and, you know, give her the steps on where to start. People who are like new at being healers and empaths, and they don't know how to look after their energy. You know, the pet will tell me, you know, that this is what my owner needs. So it's kind of like the pet is being the teacher, using me as being the conduit to get the message to the owner. And then on the other side, if there's pets on the other side, they will tell me how they crossed, who was with them, you know, that they're okay, or they're still with them. How, and they'll tell me, like, you know, you're hearing noise at the back door, and that's me, you know, or there's a puddle on the floor. Don't blame, you know, like Fido. It was me telling you that I'm here, because what's interesting, I had a puddle come on my floor in our basement space, and that was before I started doing my TV show. This is about 2 months earlier. And I thought, okay, our dogs don't pee in the house. This was really strange. And it was in the middle of the room. And that spot is exactly where my desk is set up with my TV studio. I've turned the whole area into a TV studio and in this office space kind of thing. But so that's what they had told me, that for me, that was my message, that there were big things going to happen there. So I get messages for people's pets, whether they're alive, whether they're crossed over. I had one pet tell me on the other side, the owners want to know how the pet was, and they were really devastated and really grieving, as you know, a lot we do, right? And so I, told the owner that the dog absolutely loves being in the front seat of your truck when you go out and you're driving in the country. I see you around bush. And right away he's like, okay, I'm a believer. And I don't even know a lot of times what I say. It just kind of comes through me. And I said, you're going to be getting another puppy real soon. And they were like, our dog just died. I said, well, that dog is sending you a new puppy, and that dog is just going to be so full of love and just exciting. Literally 2 weeks later, the email came with a picture of the new puppy, and they're like, oh, he's so sweet. And oh my gosh. And it was a sweet, really sweet dog. So yeah, they come, alive. They come, once crossed over. Then there's ones that are ready to cross over, and they'll find me, and they'll get like their owner to connect with me. It works out, how miracles happen, that we get brought together, and they will tell me, I'm hanging on for my owner. Help my owner to let me go, because I won't go until they let go. So the pet will tell me, what I have to do, and that's what I will do to help them to prepare for their pet's crossing. So yeah, it's like literally like
so much healing in what you're saying too. I know for myself, like with my dad passed,
Okay.
I wasn't good for a long time, and I was a tenant that was staying in our house, and he had been in a car accident and had cancer, and had healed himself through a medical intuitive.
Yeah.
And said, just give it a try.
Yeah.
And so I did. And literally I left there giggling. And my biggest sadness, I believe, was that my dad didn't believe that there was anything. There was just, this was it. There's no life after, there's nothing. And I knew differently, because as yourself, I saw as a young child spirit, and felt plagued by that most of my life.
Right.
And so being crazy like the rest of us, I knew that there was, and that we were eternal, and I didn't really understand. And so I've been on my own path of learning and understanding, and on that journey, and it's so fascinating.
Yeah. Well,
what happened, but the thing that I just want to say is,
no, go.
He said like the couple of things that he said, which wasn't a lot, it wasn't like a big psychic reading, it was like a clearing of energy and trying to help me to whatever was blocked, and the emotion and damage that I was holding on to was being cleared. There's no way that somebody knows what comes, right? So what you're saying certain things, and all of a sudden the owner's like, yeah, you know without a doubt that it's them, because there's my dad was like, at the end of, I remember him saying, he just wanted to say one thing, and at the end of it he was saying, and the look on his face was very funny, and I looked at him, he goes, he's saying hooray, right? And he used to say hooray, but his name was Ray. And I left there with like tears of joy, because it was like I knew he was good. I knew where he was. I knew he was with me, and
that's what people are looking for. Yeah, that's exactly what people.
I left there with tears of joy after 6 months of just really being debilitated and not really knowing that was going to happen to me, because we weren't close until the very end. So it was it's very powerful.
Well, and can I add to that? So my dog, Rocky, was a dog that got me through all of these situations I was faced with, right? And he started going downhill when he found his replacement, my husband now of 20 plus years, Ross. And so he was hanging on for me. And Ross kept saying, he's really suffering. And I knew he was suffering, but I wanted him for me, right? And I had a friend call me and say, you are very selfish. I was shocked, because I'm such an animal person. No. And this is before I was really stepping into the ownership of what I could do, because I mean, my own parents called me a freak. So like, I did not have support with this at all. So it was very confusing for me. And then people would call me a liar, or that's not possible, and then you self-doubt, and you go through all this, right? So anyways, Ross was at my side, and we called the vet came to my house, and I was holding Rocky, and the vet said, okay, we're going to do this and this and this, and then that will be it. And I thought, okay, like I have to do this for my dog. And I knew he was hanging on for me. So all I did was I just said, Rocky, you've been the world to me, my greatest gift. I love you. And I let you go. And I kissed him, and he didn't even need to have a needle. That's how he was ready to go. And he went peacefully. And what happened, I was so consumed with grief that I thought, like, I lost my best friend. I'm such an animal person, and maybe you hear this, there's some people out there that they could be, if they were on a deserted island, give them animals, that's all they need. I'm one of them. Okay.
Well, look, because there's just total love and non-judgment,
Right.
full compassion, like just in the moment. How could that not be after your upbringing, right? Or after our upbringing?
Exactly. Right. So what happened? So here's Mr. Right now in my life, and we just knew instantly that we were meant to be together. And so what happened was Ross had said to me that December 3rd is when I said goodbye to Rocky. And our dog Molly, the one that you saw, Ross was holding her as Rocky crossed. Wow. And the sound out of this dog, I'll never forget it. It was devastating for her. And I remember turning to her and saying, Molly, when it's your time, I don't want to go through this again. It's just heartbreaking, and go in your sleep, right? Dogs never go in their sleep. They just don't do this to us, right? And so what happened then, this is now middle of December, and Molly and I are grieving together, and I'm not getting messages. I'm not feeling anything, and nothing empathic. I'm not feeling any energy at all. And it was like I shut completely down. And then the week of Christmas, Ross said to me, don't make any plans for Christmas Eve. I have to just have an hour with you without the kids or anything. He says, I have a gift for you. And I thought, okay, I know that we just knew we were going to be together. I thought, is he proposing already? I had all kinds of things going through my head, right?
Is he proposing already?
Right? Well, no, we'd only start, it was only like 6 weeks, right? And so what happened that we're sitting in the living room, and Molly's there with us, and Ross gives me this gift, and I opened it, and it was this candle holder, and it was 3 angels hanging onto hands. Oh. And I looked at it and I started to cry. And right away, right in front of me was Rocky, was my grandpa Buck, and was my guardian angel. Wow. And they all said, we have been with you, but you shut us down. And I thought, oh my gosh. So here I am, like, this is a couple weeks later, and I'm doing this huge speaking event. And right in the front row, there were these 3 empty seats, what people thought. And I could see Rocky, Grandpa Buck, and my guardian angel. They were sitting on the chair going like this, and Rocky's wagging his tail. Now, can you imagine being on stage, seeing that, trying to get your focus back to remember what you were supposed to say? And every time I do something, they're always right there. And they said they always would be. And, a couple of years after that, I was really blessed that my father-in-law, who in other lifetimes, so my mother-in-law and father-in-law were always my parents in other lifetimes. And this lifetime, I learned that I was born to these parents because I was to learn how important it is to love one another and share love, because I was never given that. Crazy, right?
That's not crazy. That's beautiful.
Right. And so here my father-in-law chose Ross and I and Ross's sister to be with him when he was crossing. And the most incredible gift I've ever been given, and the love that I had for him and mom, that I said to Ross, okay, you and his sister went to the top of the bed, and with Ross having his Reiki too, because getting a teacher's certificate, I had to practice on him. So now he's a master too.
Nice.
So he's doing Reiki on Dad, and I'm sitting at his feet. And I was experiencing every single thing that Dad was going through. And I would say to Russ, this is what was happening. You need to tell him, assure him it's going to be okay. And then I saw like mom standing there and she had her hand on his shoulder. And it was so wonderful to see his soul come up out of his body. And then he got up, he took mom's hand, and they went into the white light together at the portal. And it was such the one best gift I've ever gotten. And now it's like when people tell me that they've lost their loved one, you know, the loved ones will show me exactly what happened. And like you say, it is so healing for people to know that there is more for their loved one, or their loved one is still communicating, you know, whatever that is, right?
Yeah, I lost a bunch of people a few years ago, like my daughter and my sister and my dad and
Oh gosh.
a couple of close friends and my daughter's best friend. Like it was just this big pile up of
Big
death.
clearing.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, and exactly what you're saying. I mean, I'd have my daughter, the energy, they can come through energetically because we're all energy. And so it'd be songs with, like the songs would stop and then all of a sudden, this song, it was, the toothbrush would go on off, the electric toothbrush. It was just this, I remember my nanny in the backseat, we were going to spread the ashes for my daughter and coming around to the lake. And just as we're making the turns coming down the gate, off pops the baby, the Beethoven music, you know, it's night, the baby's sleeping in the night.
The lullaby.
Next thing you know, it's back onto mine and Sarah's music, but like just, and then I screamed, what? It's just, I said, oh no, it's with Sarah. But I mean, you tell, and me sharing that, people be like, oh, goodness, that's crazy.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So do you find that when you're doing your show that you really feel your daughter a lot?
Oh yeah, and she comes through on everybody's readings, not just mine. Everybody.
Yeah, because she's telling me that she really, really would like to have done this. And that it's like you're doing what she wished she could have done. And she's so thrilled about this.
You know what? Our whole life, she was my little mini me. So yeah, she always liked to be like me, which was a weird thing. I never, you know, it's your mother, right? But for some reason I was gifted this beautiful little girl that thought I was great.
Well, she's actually, I see her on the other side, and she's kind of like the, how do I say it? When the kids come, she's there to love them.
Oh,
and
this girl could love like no one else, but she couldn't feel it. She didn't feel love.
Okay. Yeah. She's giving a lot of love, and she is really doing a lot. Like I actually feel her stronger with you but I see your dad with you.
Oh yeah, my dad is in my ear every day. He talks to me, and for somebody who wasn't a believer, right? He's my business partner. He's my cross your T's and dot your I dude. Love him.
You know, and it's interesting because my father was one of the parents, like my mother, but he was the one that called me a freak because my hands would heat up. He had back problems and that, and very, very toxic for me. But again, it was meant to be for him to be my father because I learned a lot of lessons, right? And when he came back from the other side, he was by himself when he died. And that's how, you know, it had happened. And he came back and he apologized to me. And he said, I did not know what I didn't know. And
that's right.
So
that's like
you have to forget.
They all have their story, right? Like
exactly.
They didn't get healed from the damage. Like I found a memoir that he had written, like on the top of the shelf. Me and my daughter and my sister just grabbed this, and it was a memoir of what had happened to him, and him driving back to, you know, his dad died when he was young, and all of a sudden he was taken from everything and moved away, and now he was the man of the house as an only child. Like the shutdown and the trauma that happened to him emotionally as a young boy, then never got talked about or healed, especially back then, and then was moved forward, and he didn't have the health of the healing. And so then we got the brunt end of that, but he didn't have that awareness or that knowing.
Yeah,
he didn't know.
And that
But
was
then when
him.
you know that that's how that happens, then it's easier to kind of go, okay,
Yeah.
right? It's just easier to let things go and forgive and know that when we know better, we do better.
And that was him that put that was him that put that book there, he's telling me too, right? You know that, right?
He's the one who put the book down.
So,
Sorry.
so that book that you found, he put that there because he wanted you to know his story, because that's his way of saying, please forgive me.
Yes. Yes. Like it was a powerful read. I mean, he was a jazz pianist. He's a writer. He's creative. He was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I have the utmost respect for him, even though I never had much relationship with him
Yeah.
as father-daughter
Yeah.
until our later years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's incredible how powerful he is. And I can hear him laughing right now.
Yeah.
Because it's like this, this
Yeah.
chuckle.
I'm getting media attention,
Yeah, he didn't know, right? Well, he had it his whole life. He was very, yeah. But it's interesting because we just need to get out of our head and listen, right? Just be in the space and what is coming in intuitively, or what we believe that we're feeling or hearing, and like the songs that come on. And I'll have my younger daughter talking about something, and all of a sudden, boom, it comes on the radio, and I'm like she's like, wow, did that just happen?
Well,
and she loves this stuff.
You know what happens with me? Okay, so I can't sing. And a little bit about me, in grade six was a traumatizing time for me. I had an art teacher tell me not to draw, and I had a music teacher tell me to lip sing for the choir, because
So your creative section just went right down, just shut right down.
Exactly, right? So what happened, I guess the more I was opening up, I started singing Amazing Grace. And I didn't even know I was singing it because it was channeling out of me. And I would be singing this at the top of my lungs. And my kids would say, Mom, would you stop? And I'd say, what do you mean stop? They're like, do you not know you're singing pretty badly? Didn't hear a word, didn't hear it at all. It just kept channeling, right?
Yeah.
So this still happens. And so basically what happened to me before my grandpa died was he told me that he would always be with me, and to always remember Amazing Grace, and that that would connect us. Okay.
So that was probably him singing through you.
It is. It is. And when I'm singing Amazing Grace, it means that I haven't paid attention to something and he's kicking my butt. And if there's something that I really am not listening to, it doesn't happen very often anymore, but I'll smell cigarette smoke.
My sister used to smell this from my mom all the time. She'd be like, can you smell that? It smells like campfire. And it was always when my mom was with her. It's not funny.
But the scary part for me is I don't know if it's real or if it's the other side. And I have to say to my husband, okay, I'm smelling smoke. Is there a fire in the house? Did you leave something on the stove or do something like that? And he'll say, no, it's just Grandpa Buck. And everyone knows, like, if we're at like a family dinner and I'll say to the kids, do you smell smoke? And did you leave something on the stove? Because, kids can do that, and so can husbands.
We all can. Yeah.
And, sometimes women can do that too, but, a lot of times it's men. No offense against you men, but so it was just like an honest goodness question. And so everyone knows in our family that if I start singing that, or if I say, is there a fire? They know Grandpa Buck is with us. And so it doesn't happen.
How fun. How great to be aware enough and awake enough and grounded enough to accept all of the synchronicities are just so incredible. Once you start to pay attention, it's like boom, 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 and manifesting and creating becomes just this. It's our inherent gift, isn't it?
Well, and can I share one more story? This is crazy. Okay, so as you know, my name is Sue. Okay, I've been called Susie by my family. Ross is my husband now. My real husband. The other one was my practice husband, I say. I've learned a lot from him, right? And so my grandfather's name was Ross, even though his nickname was Buck. So we called him Grandpa Buck. And my husband, Ross, his favorite grandmother was Susie.
Love that.
So what happened, he asked me out he was actually my mentor from Toastmasters to get me over the fear of being in the center of attention. And I had to go on my first TV show back in 2001. And I'd never done that before. So it was to kind of get me over that fear. And so I met him and I just had chills because I thought, I feel like I'm looking at my grandpa Buck. And so then he told me his name was Ross, and I just had chills. And then he said, you remind me so much of my grandma Susie. And so we got talking, and then we went out on our first date 2-3 weeks later. And we went out and we knew instantly. We were at this dinner theater. I don't know where are you in Ontario? Are you in Ontario?
I'm in Vancouver.
Vancouver. Oh, lucky
British
girl
Columbia.
you. Okay, so in kind of close to Toronto, there was this dinner theater you could go to. And so we were at this dinner theater, and the show was all about the man having an affair on his wife. And that's what I had gone through in my life, right? And so we totally didn't even pay attention to the show. We were talking so much, and I could feel, here's Ross and I, and here was Grandpa Buck, and here was Grandma Susie at the table of four. And
Wow.
the show was ending, and we didn't even realize that this show was on. And Ross said to me after, oh my gosh, I took you to a place where this guy was having an affair, and that was terrible for me to do. I said, no, this was just confirmation. I'm past that. Like, I moved forward, And so it was just incredible what happened with that that unfolded. And then I, working on my healing, had past life regression. And so when I was under, every lifetime, I was married to this same man. We've been together every lifetime.
Wow.
And we go places and we'll say, does that seem familiar to you? And then I will get the flashback of us living in that time zone, in that era, and how we're dressed and everything.
And they say that's that you kind of travel with the same souls.
Yes. Yeah.
And one time they're their mother or your sister, or that there's always, I remember, can't remember his name. I was at like a Hay House thing with Wayne Dyer. And
oh yeah, okay, yeah. Power Within. Power Within. You think about that one? The Power Within event?
Yeah, maybe. It was, he travels around and they do the shows, and there's all the different, the different authors. And it's not coming to me right now, but the doctor who ended up trying to help his colleague. Okay. And she kept dropping into, they tried hypnosis, and she kept dropping into these past lives. And the two of them were just beside themselves because, first of all, they're medical doctors. They don't believe in any of that. And she was remembering, because she's in a meditative, and anyway, the book is phenomenal. Right? He put the whole theater into hypnosis, and we dropped in. And my girlfriend, she dropped right into the one I was sharing with, that has had a similar experience as you walked through and powered yourself right through this incredible, debilitating life disease and come through the other side. She's a powerhouse. Very tip my hat to her. She happened to be with me, and she could smell, like you're right there as a child. She could smell the plastics of her dad's, business, and I could smell the grass of the front steps. Like, it's so powerful. Here's a medical doctor who went through, and I think they ended up doing, every time they went in, she'd land somewhere else, and they recorded the whole thing. But of course, many of the medical doctors that he was colleagues with thought he was crazy. Yeah. But it is such a powerful, powerful thing. And that's where I learned and kind of understood that this kind of happens. We come and travel with each other, like certain souls.
Oh yeah. And like, we're born, like for me, marrying my ex-husband, it was like, I had to learn from him. I had to learn the lesson that I was a strong person. And I definitely learned that from him, because I did not think that I could be a single mother by myself. And, having had a disease, would that come back? So, everybody in the place that come into our life, they're all there for a reason. And if you just accept that there's going to be lessons come, we all have the choice to how we're going to react to a situation, because we can create a different outcome depending on the choice we make, right? So it's all about how we react to stuff. And like, I could have, it was interesting. A lot of people in my family have Crohn's disease, colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, different bowel conditions. And I've said to different ones, you can get rid of this disease. And they're like, no, no, no. And every one of them that I tried to help in my family did not want the help. They chose to stay sick. And there was different reasons that they chose that, which that's for them. Like, I can't judge. It's not up to me. They have that for a reason, and but they made the choice to stay in that place. And I just knew that, like, when someone tells me that something can't happen or that it's not possible, it's like this inner me kicks in and says, everything in the world is possible. We can achieve anything that we set our mind to. And if it can't happen, well, let me show you how it's going to work here, and that's what I've always said to my kids, that, when you have your babies, our grandbabies, that they'd say, oh, they're so stubborn. I said, that's what kept me alive. And that's the best gift that I can see in a child or in a person, because it will get them through, the good and the bad, right? Challenging that.
And I believe that they say, if we can see it and if we can think it, then it's here. We just need to allow it in. Even though if we can think it and feel it and see it, it's ours already. It's just for us to start to feel it and accept that we're worth all.
Well, do you want me to tell you? So, when you say that, I've been working with Jack Canfield as my mentor, and I'm in his mastermind group. And he's actually, I don't think I told you this, he's actually asked me to write a new series that's like Chicken Soup for the Soul for the pet. So right now, if anyone's listening, and you write your story for me too, okay?
Yes.
That I'm collecting stories for this book right now, of stories how your pet has given you unconditional love, eased your pain, give you courage or strength, anything feel good. What has your pet done to help you feel good? So what we're doing is we're putting together this book for the love of the pets that help us heal. That's the name of this book.
That.
And what's happening
that just made me misty, just the title there. That's wonderful.
That came to me at 4:00 one morning when I could not sleep at all. And then all of a sudden, this being came in front of me and said, this is the title of that book. And the series is For the Love of. And so there'll be different things. So what I'm doing is each book that I write with these titles is connected to a pet summit. So anybody who has a pet that has a story to share, and you don't have to be a professional speaker, like, I'm looking for people to share their stories. And then in May, on May the 2nd, what's happening is we are going to air all these interviews and for the week. And then the book, that it's all kind of like us coming all together to share our stories to help others. And the book will be produced. And then all the proceeds from this book is going into Lions Foundation of what's the title? Lions Foundation of Canada Dog Guides. I always say dog guides, but their official title is Lions Foundation of Canada Dog Guides. And it will go in to being able to get the puppies trained to be dogs, to be service dogs for people in need. And I just found out yesterday, you talk about the universe working for you, right? I got connected to a lady that wants to speak at the event about how her dog helped her and her sister. And ironically, her sister was trying to save money because she's got challenges. She needs a service dog. And their family have been saving every cent they can to get this service dog, and they haven't had the money.
Oh goodness, let's do something about that. Let's ask.
Well, so what's happening?
Let's ask for her. My goodness, that's powerful. Yes.
So what we're doing is, at the event, we have like a donation section that's being set up. And what will happen, people when you make a donation, there's different like levels of this. You can make a donation and you will get like videos, our videos, transcripts. You'll get the book that we're actually doing, that will be in there as well. And ongoing, this book for this summit, for the love of pets that help us heal, that book, all the money is going to go into helping others through Dog Guides of Canada. And then my husband said, what did I want for my 60th birthday? And he's doing travel and stuff like that. I said, no, that I want, because, our energy feeling, it's crazy, right? I want to stay in my own area. And I said, I would like to put together another summit. So we are now in the process that by November 23rd, my 60th birthday, that next summit will be out. And it's all about helping people with the loss of their pet, how people got through this. And that I'm now like, having people to connect me with the pets charities, and that we will pick another charity in another area, maybe in the state.
Oh, Sue, this is wonderful. This is incredible.
This is how I'm bringing people together to do something positive, and it's like help our animals and those in need as well. So,
and awareness, just this awareness that this is a thing. This is, maybe people are experiencing this and dismiss it because it's so powerful. There's so many gifts that are given in this awareness. It's and also, you are such a gift. Thank you so much for this time today.
Well, gosh, we had some fun.
Oh, I love it. I love this. So when we post this video, I want to make sure that we have all of this information so that everybody can get to you and find how to get into the connecting to do for the foundation, for the fundraising.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yes.
And also, like, I can share after we can talk, and I'll email you the links so that people can share their stories and be speakers. And
yes, let's do that. And we can put it with the video so that then people can watch and then they can click and get. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, I'd really appreciate that. And anyone listening, don't be intimidated by me, if thinking, oh, you can't do
Oh,
anything.
I think that they're all going to be so intimidated by you. You're
well,
just
that's what I'm saying. We have fun, we might see some spirit dogs, bouncing on the screen behind me or something, but it's
well, and even if you haven't had the experience of any of that, what about just being open and tapping in and just seeing if there is any awareness there for people, right?
Yeah. So I know it's really, I've got Dr. Bernie Siegel booked, and I'm actually speaking to Loretta Swit, actress from TV show Mount.
Wow.
In my career, I used to interview them all for my radio show. And I interviewed Bob Barker, and after we finish today, I'm going to be calling him to see if he'll join us on this summit too. So we've got.
I watched Bob Barker as a young kid. Every day. I love that show. The Price is Right, isn't it?
He's 98 years old now.
Wow. Good on him. Good on him. I haven't heard his name for so long, but I love Bob Barker.
Yeah. So so this is kind of like we're getting
having an incredible life.
Right? Yeah.
Listen to what a great life that you are manifesting.
Absolutely. And you know what? It all came down to choice, right? So, become aware.
Being open and accepting it, and being enough, knowing that you're enough to have those experiences.
That's right. And like with being mentored by Jack Canfield, like literally it was only 2 weeks ago, he said, I want you to start hosting these pet summits because you'll be awesome with this. You'll run with it. 2 weeks ago, and we've already been filling the calendar, and we've got another book is going to be coming out from this event, of a transcript book of all of the interviews, so people can get audio, video, and transcripts for this.
How did you land in being a mentor? Just from doing your Toastmasters you met?
No, I heard when I heard when I was in my 30s, I had gone to the Power Within event you know, the events you're talking about when the authors were all there. So I'd gone
Yes.
to an event, and I was in this period of growing and learning and wanting to get a better life. And I thought, you know, I love chicken soup books. I thought, well, you know, if I could meet Mark Victor Hansen, that would be really cool. And so I saw him, and we talked and that, and then I sat down, and John Gray came up, and you know, we were talking. And what's ironic is when I talked to Mark, wonderful person, and I sat down and I was in the audience, and I heard, Jay, the man that is going to take you to the level you need to go begins with J. Okay. And then it was about 10 minutes later, I heard Jack Canfield. I thought, okay. And then, so then John Gray came up on the stage, and I heard, listen to him because you'll need his words. And I thought,
Wow.
okay. I had a friend who taught his courses, and she actually had got this fluke sickness. It was the other side doing this, and I had to step in and teach his course. And I didn't know this, right? So what ended up happening, I got this message, and I just let it go. And oh my gosh, it was about 2009, no, 2007. I got a phone call from Jack's office, and the girl who called me said my website had just come up on her screen, and she thought I was doing great stuff. And at that point, I had 3 books, to 2 children's books in the Rockies trip to the hospital, Rockies Positive Thoughts coloring book. And I think I had at that point too, my life story, Soar Above It All, Overcoming Adversities in Life. And I thought, you know what? The kids are young. We've got a pool. I want to focus on the kids. I want to focus on being a mom. And I actually turned down the offer to be mentored by him, because my mindset was, you know, the worthy issue still, I wasn't good enough, and I was going to be just a mom. Right. So I shut it down. So then what happened 3 years later, you know, kids were getting older, and I was starting to become in the professional world, you know, and I got a call again from his office, and I said, yes, I want to be mentored by him. And I wanted to do the life coaching first, because I knew that I still had some growth that I had to do personally. So then I did that coaching, and it was great. And then a few years ago, I heard, and I said to my husband, Ross, that, you know, I need to connect with Jack's group again. And I called, and I said I wanted to do the coaching for the business coaching for marketing. And so, you know, Ross said, of course you do, right? Like, here we go. This is the adventure again, right? And I signed up, and my business coach that I have was the marketing person for Brian Tracy. You know, Brian Tracy,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So I have Brad as my marketing coach. Talk about a gift. And then I thought, okay, like I wanted to be able to offer more to people, because I was starting to see people were really struggling. And Jack had always said to me that when you like, for me personally, I've walked the experience, so it's equivalent or better than a piece of paper that you went to school for, because I've lived it.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying? And so I interviewed him after I did the life coaching, and he said, what's your intention? What is it that you want? And I said, I want to help millions of people and their pets around the world cope, heal, and move forward. And he said, okay, just keep focusing on that, but add or something better at the end of that. So I would do that every day, and I would see this happening, like you said, visualize it and all this. And it was literally 5 days later, I got an invitation to go on someone's radio show. And her switchboard crashed as we were doing the interview, and it was live radio. And Grandpa Buck is beside me saying, Susie, just keep talking and trust me. And I'm like, this is ridiculous, you know, just keep talking and trust me. So I ended up doing that whole half-hour show by myself. And then she came on to say goodbye. And I thought, that was the worst interview I'd ever done. Like, what was that about? Questioning it. And then I did the interview. And then what happened? She called me and she said, thank you. You saved my show. You ran my show and you didn't even know it.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, talk about miracles here, right? And then she goes, congratulations, you've got your own show.
Wow.
And I thought, oh my gosh. And so then that's how I started my career I had a show on an AM station out of Rhode Island, Westerly, Rhode Island, WBLQ.
Good
And
for you. How proud am I of you? I don't even know why I'm so proud of you, but I am. That's just so great.
right.
I love that you're sharing this. What a leader you are.
Well,
Because
and well,
knowing, watching you do it, you know that other people can know that they can do it. Like, good for
absolutely.
you walking through
Absolutely.
this.
And then,
So
the funny
wonderful.
part, so then in November, oh, this is where it gets better. So then in November, I was given a couple tickets for Jack's big event, and he does them through Zoom now. So I attended, and I was the day before, the weekend before, I kept hearing I had to join Jack's mastermind group. And so I said to Ross again, you know what, I need to find out if Jack's got a mastermind group, because I need to work with people that have that high level of thinking, like success, no options other than that, right? And so I was connected to them through the event. And I said, look, does he have a mastermind group? I want to join it. And they said, oh yeah, he'll talk about it at the end of the event. I said, no, I need to join now. And they're like, no, don't, just wait. I said, no, I need to do it now. Right. Like it was so adamant I needed to do this, because I knew that was the piece that was missing from all those years ago, where I was told Jack Canfield would be the one to take me where I'm going. So that's where he said, like, it's a 6-week mastermind group that we're in. And he said to me that, I guess it was 3 weeks ago, he said to me, it's not a matter anymore if, or it's a matter of, it's just around the corner now for you. It's right in front of you, that like where you're going. And so this is where we've been talking about the other stuff. So now I've been invited to be a trainer at his next breakthrough success event, like a leader room trainer. So talk about full circle, right?
Wonderful. Yes. And you have so much to share. You're such a gift, and you're so lovely. Like, you're so warm and approachable, and you're going to shift so many millions of lives.
Well, and that's why I came back from the other
And you
side.
probably already have, but
right.
You're going, this intention of yours is, it's amping up. I think it's going to be 1,000-fold here. So,
oh yeah. Well,
my hat to you.
You know what? It is kind of like when you and he always says, Jack always says, what's your big why to do stuff? And my big why is like what Grandpa Buck told me in the tunnel, the white light, was my destiny is to help millions of people, like pet owners and their pets, to cope, heal, and move forward. And now it's like, I'm doing stuff just with the pet. I'm doing stuff with the pet and the owner, and I'm helping the owners. And there's so many people like empaths that are now like new empaths, helping them to understand this. So a new woman came into my life just 2 days ago that's helping me put packages together for video training. So that's what I'm starting this afternoon, to create these video trainings of, releasing the stress from your pet and the energy and all that kind of stuff. So you come to my area, and then I'll put you to work. Okay.
Absolutely. I'd like to keep up with you, because I think that you've got so much to share. So when you're ready to release all of this, give me a shout, and let's share all of that again.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can talk after the show, and I can get that to you.
Yeah.
I love you, my friend.
Love you too. Thank you so much for this time. I really am grateful. It's been very heartwarming, and a few little tears for me when I was running a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to say, your daughter's going to be connecting with you more tonight too. And you might even dream about her. So watch for that message, because it's all about love, and like I can feel my heart really expanding as I think about her. So you've done great stuff, and just know she's doing amazing stuff around loving children on the other side.
Yes, I've adopted her 3-month-old baby, and she's been my Buddha, and we helped heal each other. And so she could always see when Sarah was around, she'd just kind of stop and you know, did the whole, and yeah, so I'm very, very aware of Sarah all of the time. I'm very grateful for the relationships that I do have
Yeah,
and the understanding that they are with me.
they are.
And it's
Most
the biggest,
definitely.
it's the biggest gift I have because most of my family is gone. And so I've been lots of times alone,
Yeah, yeah.
but I'm not, I'm
No,
not.
no.
And yeah, so thank you. I
You,
appreciate that.
you are so surrounded with many angels to help you to get the message out to others, like what we've shared today. That is what they've asked you to do. You have
This
so
is my
much.
passion. It's my
Exactly.
passion. I love, love this stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what, I love that we've had this conversation because I know that my dreams are going to be all fulfilled as yours have.
Well, you're ready, I'll certainly, share everything that I've done. We'll talk after the show.
Okay.
I love you
Okay.
and thanks for
Well,
having me on.
oh, thank you. Thank you. And we will catch up again.
Perfect. Okay, I'll talk to you
Okay.
soon. Bye.
Bye, Sue.